up, everybody? You are listening to another episode of Hanging with Miss Cooper. And I thought about doing the whole, what's up? No. We're not doing that here. I say that because I bought my husband the entire series of Martin on DVD. And so he's been binge watching, as many episodes as he can at a time. And I didn't get to watch Martin a lot as a kid. Like, I might have caught like a clip here or there. So I'm just now discovering, how great this show is as an adult. Y'all don't judge me. I mean, you can, I don't care. But, I didn't, because of, my parents' affiliation with a certain religion, I'll say that, back in the day, I missed out on a lot of certain music, certain movies and TV shows. So my husband, I love my husband, y'all. He's just so awesome. He is very patient and he makes fun of me. But he's patient enough to introduce me to this stuff, and I guess he likes, the look of awe or my dislike or, just my reactions to it. And same goes with like certain foods and stuff. So I'm glad that he enjoys cooking to a certain extent because he's been introducing me to all sorts of different foods and stuff too. So certain foods I never even tried as a kid, I'm having it as an adult. And I can say I'm getting pretty spoiled. I just told him the other night when I was wanting something and he told me no. And he doesn't tell me no very often. But when he does, he means it. And I kind of looked at him, how your kids look at you when you tell them no. Well, I kind of looked at him like that and I was like, look here. You did this. You created this monster. And he still said no, but you know what? It is what it is. So, let's get into today's show. Today's show is called The Insecurity of Men and Women. And y'all know about Insecure, right? And no, I'm not talking about Issa Rae's show, but shout out to Issa Rae. Girl, I'm sad that this is the end of Insecure. I mean, I know it's 5 seasons. I know this is the last season. Season 5 is the last, but I love your show, girl. I really do. But, shout out to her because, that show is pretty tight. I really like it. So, okay, let's get serious. Let's get serious here. Insecure is a word that is thrown around in relationships and disregarded as a thing that happens only when somebody cheats. Yeah, I'll agree with that. Or when a cheater gets back in his relationship only to be in a relationship with insecurity. Yeah, I kind of gave that a nice little spin for y'all, right? And once insecurity enters the relationship, yeah, you don't really break up. The relationship might break up, but you and insecurity don't break up. Unless there's a major change in the relationship that actually touches on that insecurity and actually fights with it, kicks it out, insecurity is there to stay. Now, this actually happens even before the relationship happens. For men, it happens before women catch on. Now, here's what will happen on the men's side. Men will lie about who they are. They will misrepresent themselves. And women do this too. I'm not just attacking men. I'm attacking us women too. Everybody is their whenever they meet, it's their representative. The real you doesn't show up for 3 to 6 months, if it lasts that long. You're meeting that person's representative. And when the representative leaves, that's when you feel like you've been misinformed, misled, misguided. And in some cases, yes, you were. Because that's an insecurity. Somebody was so insecure about who they really are, not trusting that somebody may actually love them or accept them for who they are. So they have to create identities for themselves. And it's exposed in men more than it's exposed in women. Now, ladies, we misrepresent ourselves with the hair weaves, the braids, the makeup, the certain types of clothes. How often do you meet a guy in your sweats, no makeup, hair not done? How often do you take away those wigs and false eyelashes and stuff? When I met my husband, I was wearing wigs, little bits of makeup here and there, but mainly it was the hair weaves and the wigs. And we used to stay and talk online till sometimes 3 or 4 in the morning. Well, one night he called me out and he was just like, take off that wig. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, no. And he's like, no, take off that wig. Y'all, I did it. I took off my wig. Now, I am natural. And back then, I was, well, not even back then, I still am. Let me stop saying that I'm not. But I can be a lazy natural. And I just didn't want to do my hair. So my hair was wild and everything. But you know what he did when he saw my hair? He didn't laugh at me. He didn't scold me or anything. He smiled. And it was a genuine smile. He was actually proud to see my natural hair. So from that night forward, I didn't care if he saw me with or without my wig. I didn't. That was 7 years ago. We have now been married. This year will be 4 years of marriage. And y'all, he sees me in the mornings. I'm not a pretty sight in the mornings. But you know what? He wakes up, he still gives me a kiss in the mornings. He tells me I'm beautiful. And you know what? I know he's being genuine because I know that's not his representative. Ladies, how often have you been misrepresented by a man? Meaning that man made you think that he made lots of money, had clout, had certain types of status, and was basically doing well for himself, only to find out that he lived at home with his mom, he was still in school, he didn't have a job. That happened to me when I met my kid's dad. He made it seem like he was this big military guy. I won't say which branch, but he made it seem like he was a big military guy, made it seem like he had a lot of money because he did drive a nice sports car. And he dressed very nice, and he even had a fistful of cash when I met him. Fast forward to after I got pregnant with our son, and he disappeared. Well, I had a friend who was a vet, and he actually did some research for me on him. Not only was he lying about his military status, he wasn't even active duty. He was in the National Guard. So he was a weekend warrior. That's where he was getting his money. And he did not have his own place. He made it seem like he was living with a roommate. His roommate was his mama. He was living at her house, still in his old bedroom. He didn't even have a job. He was in school. So I had my own place. I was working full time. I was working to go back to school. And now I had a baby on the way. Y'all, I was so upset. I was so shocked that he got me. He misrepresented himself. So I see why that was an insecurity of his. He could have told me all that up front. I kind of would have side-eyed, living with his parents type thing, but he was trying to better himself because he was working on his first bachelor's degree. So it didn't bother me when I knew the facts. What bothered me is how he lied. Ladies, we dress ourselves up and everything to look good and to look a certain way, but it's a misrepresentation because you don't look like that all the time. How often, ladies, do you misrepresent yourself as far as your status? You make it seem like, oh yeah, I'm independent, I got my own place, I got this or that. When a lot of you are on Section 8, you do have your own money from the state. You do live at home, Section 8 house, or your parents' house. And then you belittle a man for doing the exact same thing? Yo, that's not cool. Insecurity. So, what I'm getting at is we belittle men for the exact same things that we're going through. That's not a way to get into a relationship. It's not a way to stay in one either, because your representative is eventually going to leave. Your real self is going to start showing through, and people get upset because they feel like they were misled, they were misinformed, and they were lied to. So what I'm saying is, stop lying. You want a real man? Show him the real you. Let him see your flaws. Let him see what you really bring to the table. Same for men. Now, with the case of my husband, he was very transparent with me from the very beginning. He lived with his mom and his brother. He did not have a job when I met him. He was upfront about that. He was looking for a job. He was also, at the same time, trying to better himself. He was working at his church. That was the only income that he had coming in besides his unemployment. He was looking at taking classes somewhere, and with little money he did have, he was helping his mom help pay bills. So he wasn't a bum sitting around doing nothing. He was trying to better himself. So by the time me and him got serious, he had multiple jobs, and he was working to save money and get himself right, because we decided that we wanted to get married. We wanted to build a life together. An opportunity landed in his lap for working for the government. And he is a vet. Again, I'm not going to say which. I'm trying to keep privacy here. But since he's a vet, he was able to land a government job. And he actually moved to where I am. And that's where he resides now. But if he had misrepresented himself as far as his living situation, his goals in life, what he really did for a living and stuff, I probably wouldn't have given him the time of day. Also, the type of person that he is. I will say this. My husband is the most transparent person I have ever met when it came to how he treats people. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. I like that about him. That's one of the things that attracts me to him. He doesn't sugarcoat my feelings. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. He calls me out on it, he calls me out on it. Compared to my ex, who to this day has his moments of transparency, but he's still putting up the representative. It's opposite ends of the spectrum. It really is. Insecurity will do that. Stop letting insecurities rule how your life is going to turn out or how your life is going. Stop hiding behind it. Stop blaming it. You're only giving it power. Do you really want to keep giving insecurity the power? You're giving insecurity confidence. You're giving insecurity your self-control, your self-care. Stop. Kick insecurity to the curb. Like, I said curb. I meant curb. See? Transparency right there. So, I'm serious. Really think about it. Kick it to the curb. Start showing the real you. And I know you're just going to be like, you're going to blow me off and just be like, whatever. I'm serious. Kick it to the curb. And watch how things change for you. Watch how people respond to you. I mean, it's your life. You weren't expecting that. I'm Miss Cooper, and you all have a great day.